Welcome to the show. Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody podcast, episode 17.
17, almost 20.
Yes. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Thank you for the movement that we starting. We just really want to dive into these topics that, as you know, growing adults that face all of our lives, and based on the response and feedback and, people coming up to us, we know that we're creating something, and we're creating dialogue and helping people evaluate what's going on in their life. So thank you for rocking with us. Go back and listen to our old episodes. Happy that we're doing this and happy that you're with us for this ride.
We're very ecstatic about your presence.
So for today's show, for our Sweet 17, the Sweet 17, we got a simple topic. We're going to talk about kicking it and what that means. But to do that, we want to bring on a special guest. Somebody that's been here for all 17 episodes, physically in the studio for all 17 episodes. I want to bring on our executive producer, Mr. Nick Pope, a.k.a. at Naga Chomp.
Naga Chomp, Naga Chomp.
I don't know why we made that a reggae dancehall name, because he definitely does not deliver that type of music.
Yeah, we be doing that at home when he's not even around. So.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, so kicking it. Can I kick it? As everybody knows, Joy and I have two beautiful children, Chance and Bella, which are the light of our lives. The blessings that they've been to us and how they've really pushed us to be better people. With having two kids, you can't do shit, really, because you have two kids and your time is with them, making sure they're fed, hungry, and most importantly, stimulated. So when we get those opportunities to kick it, there's about 40 different things we would like to do. And I think we always resign to the thing that is going to bring us the most amount of pleasure, that we don't have to expend the most amount of energy. So we think about our single friends. When we finally do kick it with them, like, they trying to get it in, and we're just like, we can't do that no more, nor do we even want to.
Yeah, and even if we just use a story of, like, last night, we went out, we had a babysitter, thank you, Auntie, spend the night, so we know we're going to have fun. But we went to a birthday party at Goose Island, and then from there we went to the Ace Hotel, and then from there we went to the Sage Room. And I know for a fact, because I drank so much Bourbon County beer, that I thought it was like 2 a.m. Come to find out, it was midnight, and we were walking to the car. Now we come in the studio and talk to Nick. Nick, tell us about your night.
So, it started off at around 12 to 12:30.
Come on, man.
And then I ended up going to go get my friends. We ended up going to go get another friend. Then we all met our other friends at one bar, and that was around 1 o'clock. And then we just started the first round. I got in around 6 in the morning. So it's great to be here this morning right now.
I'm happy to be alive.
Man.
So the key word that Nick said was round, which implies that there are multiple rounds that he has throughout the night. Coley, how many rounds do you think on average we probably have?
2.
Oh,
That's all right.
for the entire night, you guys had 2 rounds?
2 rounds.
And you're not including the round
Are you
at
talking
your
about
house.
on average or last night?
I would say on average, because Nick also had a round. Is that called pregame or pre-round at his home?
I think it depends what we're trying to do, because here's the kicker. No matter what, unless we get somebody who's keeping the kids overnight, which for us might happen once every other month, if we go out, we got to be up at 6:30 a.m. because the kids is waking up at the same time, no matter how late you stayed out.
And they could wake up still in the night for some unknown random reason.
So you could be walking in, they hear you trying to stumble up the stairs, and they might just decide they got to pee and they want to climb into bed with you.
Dada, I've been waiting for you.
Go to bed. Come on, I'm going to sit with you when you fall asleep in a rocking chair for 45 minutes and your neck is messed up the next day. So, no. So, I mean, it depends on what you're doing, depends on the arrangement. But now, if, on the average night, if you can get in 2 rounds, you really don't pregame because you don't want to be drunk before you even get out because you can't enjoy the night. because you still got to wake up and be resilient. the
And
next
also
morning.
for the pregame, you're like, for me, I on average go to bed at 8:30. So if I do go too hard in the pregame phase, I'm gonna be tired once I actually get to the club, the location.
Yeah, most definitely. So I think the big thing we learning is that we learn when we go out, like we got to make that moment count, but we can't overthink it. For us, like if we want to go out, paying $14 a drink, it sounds absurd, but for us in a lot of ways, just seeing that mixologist make a drink and then drinking it and enjoying it, like to us, that might be the highlight of our
You
night.
see him sprinkle a little nutmeg or egg white or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, look at that. Like, so for Nick, for you, how like since our moments had to count, like what would be considered a time when you went out where you felt like this has to count, or do you even feel like that?
For this has to count, I would say getting the first bottle and then drinking that, and then that's when the night begins, and then everybody gets around the shots. Make it count. And then you take turns getting shots. So it's about 5 of y'all taking 5 rounds of shots. But that's also after the pregame, so never in the game.
Damn.
But you never feel like, damn, my night was wasted. Like, do you ever feel like that, or you just like, I'm finna have a good time?
Enough. If I'm not drunk enough, then the night's wasted.
Oh,
But that usually never happens.
So like nowadays when you go out though, because I think the juxtaposition, right? Like if Joy and I are going out, we're not out here trying to catch anymore. We out here trying to take in the energy, damn near just for the social experience. Like when you go out, what's your main objective?
Main objective, get wasted. Usually I go out to just relax and, take a load off and hang out with the guys. But yeah, just to get wasted. But also counter, find a little situation, and, take to the crib.
something.
Yeah.
But if not, most of the time I already have a backup plan for that anyway.
Oh man, must be nice.
Must be nice.
Damn, prime time. It's prime time 20s.
Yeah, I feel like for me it's just, obviously it's evolved because I got situations at home now.
Different type.
Yeah, different type of situations. So by default not being out for that, like my whole mindset is different. Like I don't have to necessarily get a fit off as long as I don't look bogus. My objective when I was in your stage is like, man, I got to get this fit off, otherwise that ain't gonna be right. Now I'm like, it ain't dirty.
All right, so do you still feel like that? Like you gotta look a certain way?
Oh, of course. I have three outfits in my trunk of my car right now, not including the one I have on right now that I can still possibly go out in.
Wow.
And there's my friends like we'll just picking somebody else off of work. I'm like, all right, I got clothes in the back, I got shoes in the back. You also have to bring another change of shoes depending on where you go, because not everywhere allows Jordans or boots or Timbs. So you got a pair of loafers in the trunk, you got a pair of sneakers in the trunk, you got a pair of non-white shoes, because that's also a thing.
Oh yeah.
Non-white shoes.
Yeah, you can't wear all white shoes, or and now black Air Force Ones are a thing too. You cannot wear.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, they trying to get all y'all niggas from the South and West Side.
Yeah, they don't want us in there, but we found our way.
And like I said, I think it's funny because it's like you could tell the uniform of every 35 and up dad, right? It's gonna be. I can tell you what it's gonna be. All right, so I'll start from the bottom up. It's gonna be a pair of either the cement 3s, Jordan 3s, or it's gonna be the infrared Jordan 4s that came out. Like, cause I'm gonna get them Jordans because everybody got them. So they gonna have the Jordans on. It's gonna be a pair of either like camo joggers or gonna be like the one pair of tapered in jeans, jogger jeans that they have that they can wear with said Jordans, and they gonna have like either a Leaders, Fashion Geek, something hoodie or tee, because that was the one time they came out to the pop-up. They wanted to support, and they gonna rock that for the next 2 or 3 years until they get their next tee from Fashion Geek, Leaders, whoever it may be. That's like the uniform for every dude that's over 35. Cause
usually a jean jacket as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jean jacket,
The
and
staples.
a pair of glasses just in case.
Yep. And they gonna have the pins from all the pop-ups and whatnot that they've been at. They gonna have a Leaders patch on there. They probably gonna have a Rock Nation pin of some sort, a Hebrew pin. That's the uniform for every 35 and up dad that's going out for a night in Chicago. You could tell who they are because they kind of dozing off by about 11:30, but they trying to really hold it together because they've been waiting 2 weeks for this night out.
Yeah, I mean, too, even just going, if you thinking about going to the club, it's like now, like I used to dance like a mug. I used to be like turned up to dance and just like hear my song. And now like, I'm like, oh shit, I wore these heels. And then the next day my knee be hurting if I dance like too much. So I feel like for me, my outfits have evolved or changed to a more comfortable look, whereas when I was younger it was like I gotta have the cute heels or boots or like the really cute outfit. So as a female, I used to feel like when I was younger, single, like dang, I just had wasted cuteness because like no dude talked to me. I'm going back home. I took an hour to get ready, but it took me maybe like a day to find this outfit because me and my friends would spend a whole day shopping for the outfit to go out that night. So it's just like such a difference. Now I just put on a Gap tee and like ripped jeans and sneakers. That's it. Like I don't care.
That's our dress code.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
don't care.
If we can't get in, like cool.
Like fuck you. I don't want to come.
We got the bar at home. You know what has to be cool about nowadays though? Like, do you ever have to wear a shirt with a collar, Nick, when you go out? Do you ever wear a shirt with a collar?
Certain clubs, like if you go to like most of the clubs in River North, you want you to wear dress shoes and a collar shirt.
Okay.
Because that's not normally my certain type of style, I don't go to those clubs anymore unless it's an event and I'm on the list, and then I don't really have to worry about none of that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I usually go to like dive bars or cheap bars and places that don't have either a fee to get in, a cover, or bars I know I can get wasted and not have to worry about getting kicked out or other problems or parking as well, because that's another thing too. So if we got to pay to park, we normally ain't probably going.
Gotcha. So it's crazy because when I was your age, like that's when the whole button up thing was in. Like the whole button, everybody had button ups. And then John Legend came out, and dude was like one of the first mainstream people wearing blazers with a dress shirt, but he had jeans and he had on dress shoes. So every dude had that look. So you look back on a lot of pictures. We got some baggy ass Rockaware jeans, a pair of like probably more than likely they Stacey Adams or Steve Madden brown shoes, one or the other. And then a blazer that don't quite work because we probably got it from Goodwill because we didn't necessarily.
Burlington.
Nobody wanted to use, like Burlington wasn't really popping back then.
Oh,
like
for
that.
real?
So you got it from Goodwill because you just needed a blazer and you didn't want to waste because all you had was a suit jacket, but it was long. So it's like just what dresses has evolved because pretty much every place. Like you had to have like dress shoes on, like so the idea of going to dive bars and just kicking it there and having good music, that really just started to evolve. So I feel like nowadays, fashion has evolved and just become more casual, even in the workplace, but especially when going out. But I feel like nowadays it's easier to just walk into places with sneakers because it's just become more accepted, and you can find a place that's cracking that allows that dress code in. So like for me, like you had to like literally coordinate your outfit to dress up for the best part because that was the only places you went. Like you had to dress up. Like the idea of going to like dive bars, to me that was always a concept. Like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do with my white friends. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be It's not gonna be
the music, because my draw was always like it had to be good music. If the music was just whack, like we were just leaving. But I had a question for you, Nick. Like when you go out, is there how like do you, because for now for me when I go out, if I got like that flaky friend, like after a while I just, even if they send like, hey, let's go here, I'ma just be like nah, because you be like backing out and I got the last time we went I got a damn babysitter and your ass backed out, so like I really don't be kicking it with you or I don't take you seriously. And I'm just curious, like how are you with flaky friends? You just go no matter what? Or
so I usually go in groups because of that. So it's like,
okay.
We have I ain't gonna say no names, but I have a friend who goes usually like he leaves at like 11 or 12. So if we leave the house at around 10 or something, we know he's not going to be out by 1. Like we know he's not going to be out past 1. So with that, like all right, we taking 2 different cars. We know you take your car and we all driving in this other car, and that's how you move. So you just gotta know your friends.
Yeah, that's fair.
How big is your circle of people when you go out?
So I have my core guy friends. I have about 5 guy friends. Then we have 3 other friends who are females who usually come out every time we go out. But on the most part, it's just 5.
Gotcha.
But with them 3, it's 8. But then sometimes they bring friends, and then it's 10 of us. And then you just look up, and it's 10 of y'all.
So you basically hang out with a carload.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
and the thing is, most of us do drive. So it's like, if one person can't drive, you got the other person. They can't drive, you got another person. So we all usually take turns. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, one of the things that just happens once you get married, like inevitably, in order for any romantic relationship to work, you got to spend time with your partner. So inevitably, like, there's only 24 hours in a day. So to spend more time with your loved one, you got to spend less time with your friends. And so that just deteriorates. And then once one does it, the other do it. So that carload of 5 will quickly become, some nights you be like, I'm just going to roll solo and hope that I bump into people while I'm out, because that's just like your circle now, because your circle will just like start to dissipate. So then you do that a couple times and you end up with a whack night. Your desire to just want to go out will lessen, and you'll be like, you know what? Instead of me going out spending $60, like, I might as well just buy a nice bottle of something, or just 2 decent bottles, and I'll just sip on that at home, Netflix, and chill by myself, like, because that's just like your best option sometimes, because just going out, the spots you used to go to will close down, the promoters ain't the same, the DJs, they had to slow down because DJing wasn't enough to pay their bills, so they slowed down. So now you trying to completely pick up anew just to find spots to go to. Yeah. I found out when we left for Buffalo and we came back from Buffalo back to Chicago, it's a completely different nightlife scene. Like, we didn't have no kids yet, but it's just every spot that I knew, every promoter, like, they got out of it. So now it's like I had to literally build over just to find what places to go to.
So do you just do like trial and error, Nick? Like, or do you like, for me, before I go out, I'm like researching these places because I want to make sure it's like a good night. I want to make sure I could get in. Like, I feel like when I was in my 20s or just before I was single, I was never like calling the club ahead of time. Like now I be smooth calling, like, hey, like, what time, like, is it free? Like, I be wanting all the information. Am I on the list? Stuff like that. So I'm just like,
no research at all.
It's
just trial and error. And then if that one don't work, you go to another club. That club don't work. Like, last night we went to about 4 clubs, and in a matter of 5 hours.
But you know what though, you got time to do that, right? When you got kids, and most people, I'm gonna break this down for y'all right here. So when you get kids, and if you don't have a free babysitting option, on average you spending 12 to 15 to watch your kids. So let's say on the low end you spending 12, you want to be out, let's say, for 5 hours. That's $60 you're down before that's just to walk out the door.
And your kids is probably sleep like the whole time.
Yeah.
That's
$60
for sleep
watch
kids
Netflix on your couch, and hope that if the kids do wake up, it's while they there, so they earn that little 60. So you down 60 before you left out. You don't got a fit. You don't got you haven't paid for an Uber. You haven't done nothing.
Bottle,
nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, bottle.
nothing. You down 6 because your kids is there, so you can't pregame because they still awake because they know you finna leave. So you down 60. Then you go out. Let's say you your first spot you go to, you're like, oh, okay, I saw they made a little flyer. It seemed like it should be nice. You get there, and then that's dead. But you already spent that Uber money. Yeah. So now you down 75. Then you pop a drink. Drinks you spending. If on the low end, a drink is $6 if you just get into domestic beer. But probably you want something a little nicer because you done did all this to get out. Yeah. So boom, now that's 75 after your drink. Now you down 90, and you 30 minutes in to going out, $90 in. So I think the point in all this, anybody, if your friend with kids is coming out with you, like, be mindful that they investing a lot more into this situation, and they need it to count. So they don't have the ability to bounce around a bunch of different spots. Like, once a spot is okay, like that, good enough, you find out the older you get, good enough will suffice.
Yeah,
good enough will suffice.
Ain't gotta be great. Like, that was good enough.
Yeah, because if you spending money because you got another Uber to get home still, like, it could easily be $150 night.
So I'm just curious, like, Nick, like, when was a time that you went out and it was disappointing, or has that ever happened? Because you could just like drink your pain away, I guess.
Yeah, like say you go to all those clubs and nothing's happening. It could be raining or snowing. You know, in Chicago, it could rain and snow on the same day. But for the most part, a disappointing night would be finding no one anywhere, bad music, and just no action. So if there's nobody there, as long as people around and I got my friends around, I'm gonna have a good night. As long as, you know.
Yeah.
But if ain't nobody there and we all looking around, just standing around in a circle bored, then I would say that's a disappointing night. But, you know, those nights are like Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday nights.
Oh, weekdays.
Yeah. But even then, because there are some clubs out there on Mondays that, you know, be popping. I know East Room used to, I mean, rest in peace to East Room, because that's over with now. But East Room used to be popping Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays. You can go with Slippery Slope on a Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's multiple places you can go. But it's just, where do you want to go and how do you want your night to end?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Because
fair.
with those type of places, a different type of music. But, you know, most places are playing hip-hop, but for the most part, also, they're also playing country and rock and indie. So it's also, what type of night are you going to get into?
That's fair.
Yeah. I feel like, let's talk about this. Like, when you go out, do you go to sit down restaurants and eat, or are you just trying to get some fast food?
Oh, no, I never do. No, we never go eat. No, we have. If anything, that slows the drinking process down. You go eat afterwards, but you go to like Maxwell's or White Castle, 24 hours,
White
because at that
Castle.
point it's 5:40 in the morning, and you gotta hurry up and grab some food before you drop everybody off. And
That's
you know,
fair.
it's quick and easy. And plus, we all broke anyway, so it's like,
Yeah, see the change and kicking it now, like going to a restaurant to get food, like will be the highlight of the night.
That will end the night.
dining experience. That'll start and end the night. Like, oh, I finally was able to get into Girl and the Goats. Let's go, Joy, and enjoy these tapas.
This delicious food.
We'll get 2 drinks each, and then yeah, let's call it. It's pretty late.
Because me and my best friend, we was just talking about it. Like, we be going smooth to Cooper's Hawk, and I know that's old ass stuff to do. And we was like, this suffices. Like, we had a good amount of wine, and then we sit down and eat. Then we just drink more wine and take our ass home. That's it. Like, and that's a 2 to 3 hour excursion, and we be home. So it's just like a difference.
our main goal also is to get as fucked up as we can without paying as much as we can. So if we can all pitch in $3-4 for a bottle, we all great. Like, you know, because half the time some people can't pay for stuff. And it's like, all right, I'll cover you, you know, or some people can't do stuff. So it's like, you also got to take into account we broke. Yeah. So dinner, that's, sheesh. I better be getting something from dinner. So now I got a DiGiorno at the crib.
Yeah. Listen, every now and then though you get a day or a night where for me I get to relive my glory days. Like it's like I know Joy, she's gonna get the kids in the morning, and I'm like, all right, we finna do this. So, last weekend we also started at Goose Island, so we already cooked off of there because their beer is like $5 to $6, and this Bourbon County season, so you're gonna be cooked out to 3 or 4. So we got the beers, but then we had a house party, and you never know what you're walking into with a house party, but it ended up being a really nice one. And then they have food there, like they had trays of docks, like they had.
That's a good one.
Yeah, they had a bunch of perch. They had a bunch of perch. They had salad, and they had pita bread. So,
See, our house parties have Jello shots and jungle juice for $8 a cup.
Damn. You paying at the house party?
Yeah, they gotta
make that recoup. Yeah,
they gotta recruit. Nah, this was just the older you get, you got to just bring a bottle of something or bring a 6-pack of something, and you just throw that into the pot. They had so much liquor there, and you could tell everybody it was pretty much a 35 and up type situation. But they had, the older you get, they hire DJs. They don't just have the iPhone hooked into the thing. Like they had a DJ spinning.
Oh wow.
They had the docks, and they had just like mad, like good energy. So we stuck that out. But the difference was my single friend. What I'm learning, the older you get, like women will straight like invite you to a party because that's when they gonna try to make they move on you. at that party, and that's what they was trying to do with our guy. I was like, oh, this is why he got invited to this party, and I'm just a tag along killing the Doc's fish in the background. Then we had a little bit more life, and then we hit Soho House, and then we had a little bit more life and hit Chinatown. So, like, I had one of them nights. It was over by 2:30 though. I was falling asleep in the restaurant, so I had to go home. That's why when you just get up, you just fall asleep. I wasn't even
you
drunk.
be embarrassed like shit. I think I just fell asleep.
So I have a question for you guys.
Oh, sure.
So, I mean, of course you guys have kids, but if you did not have kids, are there ever times or moments that you guys miss those, like, what you quote unquote, those single nights that you go get out blackout drunk and, you know, going out to White Castle until 6, 7, 8, you know, in the morning? Or at this time in your life, are you content and, I guess, happy with, of course you're probably happy with your life that you have now, but it's like, do you ever miss that craziness, that Party X type of life, or are you guys fine with that?
I think for me, in some ways, I miss like just being able to just like dance and be just out and go. Like, I remember literally is when I turned 25, like you, me and my friends went to New York City, and we like went to all the clubs, and we were out dancing till like 5 a.m, and that was before like you could smoke in the clubs. But they just made the rule in New York that you couldn't smoke any longer in the clubs. And I was just like, this is so fun. The air is so clean. I mean, I just remember just go. And I miss like being able to just kind of like up and go. Like, now it's just so much choreography. It's so much like coordination that I have to do. So and then at the same time, I could coordinate everything, and something could go wrong. My kid could get sick, or the babysitter could back out, and I'm like unable to go. So for me, at the time when I was in my 20s, I used to be like, oh, I wasted cuteness. No dude hollered at me or whatever. But in the scheme of it, I wasn't as disappointed as much. Like, now I'm more, I know it might sound sad and morbid, but I'm more like disappointed regularly. Like, I've almost accepted that level of disappointment, or like seeing a party that looks super fun to go to, and like either not being able to go, not having somebody who wants to go with me, or like being like, oh, I want to go by myself. But when I was younger, I just felt like it was more people just ready to go. Like, let's do this, let's go.
Yeah, same. Because I actually might be going to Vegas next week, and I told my friends, they was like, yeah, let me see if I got to work. If not, let's go.
Yeah.
And
I think for me, the big thing I miss out is I'm thinking about what I have to do in the morning while I'm out. So there's always kind of like that string tugging at me, like, yeah, Coley, you could go, you could get blackout, like, you got 2 more spots in you, but no matter what, I know there's something waiting for me on the other side in the morning. And even if like, let's say they away, like even today, we didn't wake up, like, we was only out until 12:30. We probably stayed up till 1, but we didn't wake up. And I think I texted you at whatever time I texted you, like, that's when we woke up.
wow.
No, I woke up at 6.
Yeah.
So my body is trained to wake up with the kids.
So I think the larger point is like, there's something on the back end that I know is waiting for me. So that's what I miss the most, just being able to like go out. So the spot when I was it was called The Mix, and they had open bar from 9 until 11. And for whatever reason, people, it was on the north side, it was in Lakeview, and people wouldn't show up there. So it was literally be me and my crew of 3. We would just be at the bar. NBA games would be on, and we knew the bartenders, so they was like feeding us top shelf for free. I do them a 20 at the beginning of the night because they knew that's all I had. But that 2 hours, I got it in, and I could do that, and I was able to go until this club ended. And then I took the bus home because there was no Uber. I didn't have no money. I threw him a 20. So I waited on the Broadway bus. Just stood there, waited on the Broadway bus, and then would go back home. But I knew I didn't have shit to do in the morning.
True.
So that's what I missed the most, because I could do that. I could afford to wait on the bus for 30 minutes and try not to throw up. I could I knew I could if I went out, like, you know what, I do want to go to the gym, but I don't have to go because that's when the daycare is open in the gym.
Yeah.
I don't have to try to get there between 8 and noon. If I don't get to the gym until 2, and I finally hit my shower at 3, it's cool. But the older you get, there's something, especially with kids, specifically with kids,
Yeah.
less so in a relationship, specifically with kids, there's something waiting for you on the other end that's always going to, like, tug at you in the back of your head, like, nah, I got to call it.
Yeah, or even with the kids, you gonna have, like, even if somebody, like today, somebody has our kids overnight, but you never know when they could just be like, when you gonna come get your kids? And then you could you could literally be thinking like, oh shit, I thought I had till like 3 to like chill, but then something could come up and you gotta get there at like 9 in the morning. Like, you just gotta, like, stuff just changes. Coley, you should tell the story of like Duffys, like that. That's so interesting.
Yeah, man. So, like, back in the day, so I'm a North Sider, and so my whole nightlife experience, I didn't really go south of, man, Randolph, unless there was something specific going on, unless there was like a loft party specifically going on at the Cermak Lofts over here. Used to be like just different fly parties and loft parties back in the day. So all the bars up north had the drink specials. So you started off at Duffys, and at the time it was $10 for a wristband, all you can drink, and then all you can eat. So a lot of like it was, but it was a North Side thing, and there was no social media to promote it, so people didn't know about it. So for about 2.5 years, you would see very, 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 very few black people. So as Facebook came along, then it started to grow because people started, wait, you could do what? And then they played only hip hop. I mean, this is when Murder Inc. was popping, but it was like, basically what you would see on 106 in Park. But you would be there, and that bar went all night. So you would get there. I think it only went, the all you can drink, eat and drink went from like 6 to 9 or 6 to 10.
That's long.
But you were slapped by 10 o'clock. And then you would hang out there, and then you would see what you can come up on. And if you didn't come up on, you just got your ass back on the bus stop, waiting for the bus to come home. But, like, that's what you did. But then as more people, for whatever reason, the West Side, they knew about it. So you had more of us coming. So they slowly raised the price. You got better liquor. It was still a good deal. But by that point, I had put on 50 pounds because I knew all the drink specials at Duffy's and then Redmond's and all them places. But that's what you did. You got, you're right. The goal was to get slapped and then to see what you could do. But you didn't need to move around because your food and drinks was covered for $10 for the night. So you would start there and just random stuff would happen. You was up north, and at the time, you didn't really realize it, but a lot of the like the larger circle we would be with, you had lesbians, but you didn't know they were lesbian, but then they was pulling all the chicks. You're like, hey, I'm losing. Like, I can't win because I can't compete with that. In hindsight, like, I couldn't compete with that. So you had to deal with that. And then you didn't have the ability just to up and move around because you was in a cab. Because no one was driving, because you was that slap. You couldn't even drive if you wanted to. So there was no Uber. So the ability to move around was less and less back then. And then you didn't even know, like, if you did want to move around, where was you going? Because you couldn't go on Instagram. Because now I go on people's story. Oh, everybody here right now. Then I try to quickly get over.
There's no cell phones like that. You had a flip phone. Yeah,
I did.
No, I'm just saying that's what I had.
Yeah. So I think just the paradigm shift, like just a paradigm shift in terms of like the access to information to even know where to go wasn't the same, because I think your world was pretty much your neighborhood. And then as I got into the industry and the trades and met more people, that's when I like started to go to more things. But even those parties would still be in River North, and it would just be who's ever throwing or whatever. So then I would just learned to follow the promoters when I wanted to go to more like dance situations where I could try to come up on something. So that was it. Hey, Nick, let me ask you a question, because I know our time is probably running low. Why don't y'all dance no more? And why don't I see dudes trying to dance with girls anymore? Like, whatever. Like, why don't y'all dance no more?
Well, of course, it's not like the Save the Last Dance when everybody in the club anymore. Like, just kicking it. I don't know. I feel like with social media, it has changed people. I feel like a lot of people are on their phones nowadays. It is a little harder to connect with people. Some people are a little more timid than others now going out. And because of social media, it's hard to connect with those people. They don't know how to start a conversation out of nowhere. Not everyone, but most people. You live in it's 2020 about to be. So a lot of things has changed, but it also depends what club you go to, because You know, if you go to a packed bar, people are pretty much dancing unless, you know, it's too packed to the point where you can't even move. But then also if it's empty, you also don't want to be the only ones dancing. And so it's, you know, it's just that I honestly, I can't really give you a complete answer. But it's just, I feel like just the times.
Because I feel like that changes the energy too, right? Like in terms of where you trying to go. So like, again, when Crocodile was popping, right?
Oh, Crocodile.
There was no cover. You would buy that. You would buy a shitty PBR, but you got that free pizza with it.
Yeah,
and then downstairs,
you got a free pizza with your drink. It was like that skating rink pizza.
Yeah, it was like that. No, but it was
It
like
was
wood.
good.
It was like wood fired
Yeah.
pizza before like people really knew what that was, you know. And it was free. You bought one drink, so for $4 you was good. And then downstairs, like people was dancing,
Just
like,
dancing, but nobody. See, I feel too with the dancing now. Like I used to be like dancing hard, like for real, but now it's like I'm more leery because somebody will smooth pull their phone out and be straight recording you.
Yeah,
and
like
then it's like, damn, I'm trying to have fun, and you just doing the most right now. So
Or your friends will do it to you too.
yeah,
You gotta be careful with that.
because
And
you
it's
so
just
drunk.
It's
you're
like, don't put me on there like that.
Yeah. So I don't get that now, man. I think, man, I love to be at this club where like, no phones, or like the signal is just dead and nobody can get anything.
I think it would be more fun.
Yeah, no, I get like you got to meet up and coordinate. You got to do that, go outside. But then once you get in, your signal just dies. So you have to live in that moment. Because back then you just use phones to call people.
But even then, you could people get on Instagram Live or, you know, try to put stuff on their story.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you also don't want to go out and then not show that you're out. Because then it's also like, people don't necessarily see that you're outside, you know, doing stuff, having fun. So it's like, oh, you probably in the house or chilling. So it's like, you also got to be on Instagram and Snapchat and, you know, do all of that. So it kind of does still take away from you going out. But for the most time, I'm drunk as hell, so I'm not even pulling out my phone for the most part. I forget.
Yeah. But it's like somebody who's not, and they just like straight ribbing you on their phone, like that you don't even know.
That's most definitely. So to kind of like put a lot of this, because we're coming up on time pretty soon, want to just let's try to put a bow on a lot of what we're trying to say here. So I think for us, we noticed just the evolution of just, you know, I've been out back-to-back weekends. Last weekend, you know, Joy, she did her thing. She went to Cooper's Hawk and saw Queen and Slim.
Yeah.
I kicked it last weekend. I hadn't had one of those since, I think, Labor Day. We kicked it hard. We went to a house party in Hyde Park and kicked it, but I hadn't kicked it since then, so that was fun. I think just like when you on this side of the fence, like when you married with kids, like when you go out, like you really need it to count. But then I think your threshold for what makes a good night becomes a little lower. Like if you have a good meal and a good drink and there's decent music playing, you'll be content with that night. I think when you're on the other side, I think you need to get slapped, and then hopefully you have situations after you get slapped.
Situations.
Yeah, but I would say too, another difference is like, as from a female perspective, it's like 18 months out of me being married, I was pregnant. So you got basically 9 months where you just can't even drink. You can't really drink. You be tired.
And if you're nursing, it's really...
Yeah, I didn't even count nursing. So it's like you got years where you just can't like kick it like you used to. So it's almost like what makes you happy and makes an enjoyable, fun night just has really evolved, because you just can't do, like, you can't smoke. Like I couldn't smoke weed. I mean, you can't, and it just all changes. That's one thing.
So what you're saying is basically just take my time and enjoy this.
Enjoy the moment, man. Enjoy the moment,
man. Go out as much as you can. Develop as many connections, but because they're gonna go away. Like your carload of 5 is gonna go away.
Yeah.
One of them is gonna get in a relationship and be caked up, gone. One of them's gonna find Christ, gone. The other is gonna realize, I don't really like this nigga that much, gone.
Yeah.
And then you look up, you just bouncing around from circle to circle, and there's contentment in that. Or you develop a tight circle, like a 2 or 3, and then like that's the crew, and people gonna know, oh, that's Nick, so and so, that's that crew. And then once you get caked up, which you probably got 10 years before you even consider that.
Yeah,
that type of
I'm chilling
stuff.
right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just I like live life, man. That's what we got to do. We got to take that advice ourselves and not put so much pressure when we go out. It's just like, yo, we out. Enjoy what you're doing. Just have for me, I got now a list of places I want to go because I know they got a cocktail or a food item that I can afford now that I'm gonna be able to get. And for you, yeah, man, just live it up and as much as you can, leverage your connects, get in where you can, do what you can, and if you got to shake loose from your dudes to do it, don't be afraid because they'll be there right now. Eventually, they won't though.
Yeah, and I would just say this might be a slight tangent, but I noticed a slight difference too, when you're single to when you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever, and then once you're married, because if your friends are still single, it's going out is gonna be different when you're the married one, because it's they look that especially to me for females, we're more going out to be caught, and then once I was married, I was more going out just to have fun. My mindset changed more once I wasn't looking as much. But then, sometimes you would go out with your single friends and it just wasn't fun because they their mood shifted, nobody hollered at them, and it's just different vibes depending on who you go out with. Whereas now I just say enjoy your friends because y'all all is kind of on the same wavelength, and then once you're not anymore, the energy can and will change. So it's enjoy them right now, enjoy the moments. That's all I gotta say.
So to go into that as well, what are some things you wish you would have known before?
Cool. Things I wish I would have known. I would have known that I don't have to approach. For me, I didn't have to approach every night as if I might find that someone, because I feel I put towards the latter part of my 20s, I put a lot of pressure on going out each night, and then it just led to more disappointment, which led to me wanting to drink more to bury my sorrows, which became an unhealthy thing. Not saying I was a alcoholic, I just wasn't healthy. I just made poor decisions. I ate worse because I knew spots I can get the giant burrito for $6. So I'm smashing a 1,500 calorie burrito at 3 a.m. after drinking Hennessy and cranberry juice for however long, and then you go to a free Hennessy event, and then it just adds. So I think I would have not put so much pressure on going out versus enjoying the company of the people that I was with and the people that fuck with me, not trying to impress people who wasn't really sweating me at all. So I wish I would have known that, because at the end of the day, I met my wife not being at the club or being out. I just met her because we had known each other for a long. We had known each other through college. So you ain't necessarily gonna find love going out. You're gonna find love by being a good person and being able to show that person you're a good person, not because you got a fly fit on, because that's not who you want.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the times I'm talking about when I would go out, my main mission was just to be caught or find a dude, and I know that there's mad people that their mission wasn't to do that, and I feel I could have expanded my horizon. You guys are saying your main mission was to get wasted. I didn't hang out with as many people that their main mission was to just get wasted, just have fun. It was everybody I was with, we was all trying to find Mr. Right. And I think something I wish I would have known is just diversify your friends, hang out with different people, see what the night is gonna bring, and if it's just to kick it, just kick it. You can have different groups of friends, and it's more fun, especially at this time, because once you get older and get married, your friends are gonna dwindle. So if you only got a select group of friends when you're young, you really ain't gonna have as many friends once you married and got kids.
What's something you wish you would have known, man?
I'm still learning. But one thing I wish I would have known is that it's okay to do things by yourself. Because I have a big friend group, it's hard, because I'll go out sometimes and they're like, well, why didn't you tell me, or why didn't you invite me here? But some days it's okay to go to the movies by yourself. Some days it is okay to go take yourself out to dinner.
Yep.
You know, self-care is the best care, and that's the first one you need before you can make anybody happy. Before, you know, you got to make yourself happy first. But I wish I would have learned that a lot sooner, because now I don't care. I'll go anywhere by myself. And that's the best. I can leave when I want. I can eat when I want. I can go where I want. I don't got to make sure everybody's good. I can literally enjoy my time by myself. I don't necessarily need a lot of people. But it's taken me this long to finally figure that out. So I felt like if I would have done this back in college, like going out by myself, you know, and it also gives you time to learn yourself. So, you know, to really realize who you are and what you like, and, you know, without the options or the opinions of other people affecting what you want to do. So I feel like if I would have learned that a lot quicker, I would know myself a lot more. But I would have learned that before, like back in college, or rather than after college.
Yeah, that's very good insight, man. I'm glad you seeing that now, because I feel like I didn't see that till like after I was married with kids. So, man, yeah, definitely just live your life and do you. So, we hope everybody enjoyed today's show. We happy that Mr. Nick Pope at NagaChamp was able to join us today, like just this roundtable free flow discussion. I think we should do this more for the show. So
yeah, definitely.
You know, follow us on YouTube at Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. Follow us on Instagram at Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody, and like our Facebook page at Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. So this is our show, episode 17.
Yeah.
We out.
Peace.